Welcome back to AHS TigerLife, fellow Tigers and viewers. We hope you all had an amazing summer, and we are excited to have you joining us for our new 2024-2025 school year. Lots of new and exciting things are in store. Speaking of new, both Arlington Middle and High School have new head principals this year. I'm Madison Rutherford with my co-host Casey Stoop, and today we are honored to be joined by Arlington Middle School's new head principal, Mrs. Shannon Blackburn. So, Mrs. Blackburn, how did you initially get into education?
So I went into education due to both of my parents being educators. My mother was an art teacher and my father was actually a middle school math teacher. And they continued to be educators my father ended up retiring from there. My mother then went into library science. But at first I didn't think I wanted to be an educator because of their path and the life that we were living. I wanted to do something else. And eventually it came back and that's where I was. Becoming a teacher, elementary first.
Yeah, so you said that because of the path your parents were on, you didn't want to become an educator. So what inspired you to become an educator?
So I was actually working in a physical therapy clinic after college. I went and got my exercise science degree and really studied anatomy, nutrition, and kind of went down the path of physical therapy. And when I started to realize that those patients didn't necessarily do what their exercises were supposed to do in between us meeting with them, it got to be where I was really curious about making a bigger impact. And so starting with school and starting with young kids and being an educator is kind of where that path then led after I kind of spent some time in the private sector.
Mm-hmm.
And we know you taught in both Missouri and Kentucky, so what brought you to Tennessee throughout that process?
So I started my teaching career in elementary school and in Missouri, and then went on actually up into Indiana for a few years in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and then went back down into Lexington, Kentucky. All moves thanks to my husband and his job, and spent many years as an elementary educator. And then when I moved here in 2024, I became an assistant principal at Houston High School, and not having that having elementary experience and then moving into the high school opened a whole lot more doors for myself and understanding of the kid from a kindergartner all the way to a 12th grader, and now going into that middle school component and seeing what that looks like, what 6th and 8th grade students need, what they are coming from, but then also where they're going to.
Mm-hmm.
So do you plan on staying in Tennessee for permanently, or do you plan to make any more moves with your husband's work or anything like that?
Fortunately, my husband's job is now remote, so we can live anywhere. And since our girls both have joined me at AMS, they will hopefully be graduates of AHS High School, and we will continue to be part of the community here in Tennessee until that time, and then who knows what the future holds.
Yeah. So what drew you to the principal position at AMS?
So my passion is to lead children no matter what it should look like. And so I have always enjoyed being a principal, working with kids and working with staff as well as the community. Ultimately, obviously, my goal would be to go maybe into a superintendency of some capacity, but working with students from all levels, kindergarten all the way through 12th, getting them prepared is kind of what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. And you said that you're kind of working towards that superintendency. Do you maybe have some sort of goals that you're setting for yourself that are maybe going to help you get there?
At this time, I think it's just let's get my feet wet in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get the idea and the opportunity to see what that looks like. But then going into a superintendency, allowing me to know what it does look like at elementary, middle, and high, and presenting that in a way that says, okay, well, this is what these areas of struggle are, and these are the successes that we need to go from. So at this time, I don't have anything lingering. I'm just happy to know that I have 1 year. I'm starting off, so we'll see where it goes.
And on the topic of middle school, do you have any specific goals for the middle school this year, anything the parents can expect?
So our word for this year is accountability, and giving ourselves as well as our students the ability to know that they have to be where they need to be. Yeah. But then also our accountability to them to let them know, hey, we're here to teach you. We're here to make sure that you're successful. So how are we all going to partnership together in order to make that happen? Our theme this year is Mission Possible. Mm-hmm. And so how are we creating ourselves in a way that says, okay, this was a definite change, obviously with a new leader, but then how do we make sure that that mission and is starting off and we're able to get some traction in order to make those changes.
What are some of the big changes that are now happening at the middle school?
Well, there's several big changes all in 8 days. I would say if you know of anything, we started what we call SPY Games, going along with the Mission Possible, and SPY Games is our recess, quote unquote recess time. The kids are able to go out for 15 minutes each and every single day and just be with their friends. One of the things that I am passionate about is teaching the whole child, and so that also involves physical, mental, as well as academic understanding. And so that was one thing I was like, we have to get this started. In addition to, we have bells now at middle school, which was not something that we normally had, which was transition periods between. Each kid gets now, everybody gets 3 minutes to get to their classes instead of bells starting and stopping on the same exact time. So students are able to go to their lockers at any point in time. They're able to go to the bathrooms during those times. And so we're giving them a little bit more of that flexibility and autonomy to create that independence, so that then when they do arrive at high school, they're not like, oh no, now what do I do? How do I manage my time? So getting them started early.
Yeah. And on the topic of like letting the kids go outside and stuff, have you had like lots of positive feedback from the teachers? Like, have you seen how that has like positively impacted your students?
Oh yes, our teachers do not complain of any sort of behavior problems in the afternoons like they had in the past. Our kids come in sweaty. They do figure out that deodorant is important.
Yeah.
And our teachers are just as excited about being outside as our students are. Just that vitamin D, just that fresh air, just resetting ourselves, even if it's just a brief 15 minutes, it does provide them just enough to be able to come in and really focus for the rest of that day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have any favorite memories from middle school?
I absolutely hated middle school. I moved in middle school, and so from a 7th to 8th grade year, I moved from Kansas City, Missouri to Columbia, Missouri due to a parent situation. My parents got divorced, and so when I moved into middle school, I had no idea where I was going or I didn't know anyone. And so I found sports, and that was where I then found my passion and my community. And so I continued to play those 3 sports all through high school, but teammates are the most important people. Creating and surrounding yourselves with others is just one of those options that's how I was able to get over the hump of middle school and into high school. I played all volleyball, basketball, and I ran track. And so I kind of tell my girls that they have to also be 3 sport athletes, but I don't know if that's going to even be something that they're going to do.
Yeah, do you think that, your story in middle school, what kind of, I guess, connection do you think it gives you with the middle schoolers and really helps you, even with their stories, because they may be going through the same thing?
Yeah, I think it's called empathy, and you take the time to build that relationship with those kids to be able to say, okay, what is truly going on? Again, remember the whole child. Mental is also part of that, and so how are we ensuring that those kids feel safe at school?
Yeah.
And putting them in opportunities that allow them to be heard, but also challenged, and those expectations are high. So bringing them all together and creating an opportunity for them to feel safe. But yeah.
So what message would you like to give to the students at AMS this year?
The message is just simple. We're here to help you. We're here to keep you educated, but we're also here to support you. And gosh darn it, we're going to have a lot of fun at middle school. We already have our first pep rally planned this Thursday to include and support all of our fall sports and just get ourselves kicked off on the right foot. But we're going to hold you to a lot of expectations, but we're also going to sprinkle in a lot of fun. And if the last 8 days is any indication, it's going to be a good time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Ms. Blackburn, that is all the time we have for today. We want to thank you so much for being here with us.
Absolutely.
And we just want to wish you a great first year and everything that's going on at AMS.
Thank you.
So thank you everyone for watching. Remember to turn on post notifications on our YouTube channel, AHS TigerLife. We'll have our first official This is Arlington episode coming soon. Take care, everyone.